Hello everybody, welcome to Chess 101. Today we're going to talk about something called a double check. And what a double check is just when the king is in check by two pieces at the same time. There's only one way this can happen. There's only one way, and I'll show you a couple different ways, okay? One piece has to move and do what's called the discovered check, which I have a whole nother video that talks about that. But then the piece that moves has to also deliver check. So in this case, the king's not in check. It's white's move. White moves the bishop, checking the king. At the same time, it exposes this rook, and the king is in check as well. So you're now in what's called double check. What's interesting about this is it doesn't matter how many pieces you have on the board, right? Let's put all these pieces on the board. There's only one way to get out of check when you have two pieces checking you. You have to move the king. Because you couldn't just take this piece because this piece is still checking, and you can't just block because this piece is checking. So in this case, you would have to move the king. You would have to like move the king here maybe, or move it over here. But, and this is probably not a good example because it's putting the king in check. So we'll put the bishop there instead. So yeah, you have to move the king out of the way. You literally can't, block or take. There's nothing you could do in this situation. And actually, let's say that this was a bishop, and we'll just put a rook. We'll put a rook here, but we'll put a pawn in front of it like this, okay? So it's kind of a goofy situation. But in this case, right, the king's in check. So we check the king. The king can either go here or here. We'll say that king goes here. There's also a checkmate in here. Do you see it? The checkmate is right here. It's checkmate. The king can't take because of the bishop. King can't go here because the bishop. Can't go here because of the rook. If in this situation, check and the king went over here, then it's still checkmate because the king can't escape. It can't get around the corner. Can't come out here because of this. It can't take because of that. So just thought I'd point that out. There's a lot of openings that have types of this that get set up. Obviously, if you castle, this stuff like this doesn't happen. But anyway, the whole point here is just to show you this idea of a double check. Another situation could be like this. Okay, so here's your knight, and you're blocking your rook, but then it's white's turn, so white takes the rook here, and now it's double check. And then essentially it's the same thing, right? Black has to move to get out. It can't. There's no way you can take this piece or block. You have to move to get out of the double check, right? So double checks are very powerful. They force the king to move. Remember, if the king moves, it can't castle. So if you could do it early in the game, then you make it harder for your opponent to get the king out of the middle of the board. So I thought I'd point that out to you. Thank you for tuning into this very short Chess 101 video. Subscribe to the channel and watch all the other videos.